How's it going, y'all? This is Destiny Rising, and I'm showing y'all my build today for Estela. This is what I have on her right now. This is with the absolute most powerful equipment that I can put on her as of this moment. Sitting at a power level of 64,400. A couple of weapons here that I want to go over first. Let's look at the weapons first. So we have the Del 2 Sweet Ears with fully mythic traits, full exotic modifiers. Go into further detail here. These obviously I can't rank up any further until we can unlock Acclaim level 20. We're currently capped at level 18, but I'm assuming that that should be uncapped come next reset, which I believe is on Monday. So this is what we're looking at here. Extra damage, just a lot of damage buffs. I always try to do that for my ammo. We even got a higher rate of fire, which does help a little bit. Better handling, mid-range damage, body shot damage, a lot of damage buffs. This thing actually has quite a good punch. That's my arc primary. We also have on standby the Furies, which is a project that I put to the side mainly because of what I'm working on for my machine gun build, and we'll talk about that here in a second. We have the Ultimatum, rocking a pretty cool looking camo that I managed to get, Bloodstain in the Snow. It's a nice looking camo, a little bit different from the other ones. And this one's sitting at 9522 as opposed to 9682, so slightly less damage. Funny thing though is this one was my most powerful primary since we were able to get the exotic mods. But no biggie. Let's see what we have here. So we got solar damage buff, accuracy, all that type of stuff. Assault magazine capacity increased by 24%. That's actually very helpful. More damage buffs, slight zoom. So really easy to stay on target. This thing shoots like a laser beam. It's actually really cool. As for the machine guns, I did manage to finally pull the Gallows from the raid, so I've been starting to chip away at some of those upgrades, though it's not my priority right now. I did need it, however, for some of the events that require void weapons, because currently this is the only void weapon that is of worth that Estela can use as of right now. There aren't any mythic void pulse rifles, and I'm quite certain there aren't even any void legendary pulse rifles that are available for her in the weapon pool as of this date. Was it September 12th? Is that what it is? Yeah, whatever date it is right now. But I want to get to, well, before we talk about Heir Apparent, we'll talk about this other one here. This is the Akutak, the BVD4. It's a solid LMG. This is an ARC LMG, which I also have with mythic traits and not all the way modded out, but still very respectable. And it's a good fallback if I decide to go with an exotic primary at any given point. So I wanted to have that ready. The one that's even more less important is the Scorched Earth, which in my opinion is not that good. Does have a really good rate of fire. Rate of fire of 900. Okay, but look at the range, 31. Estela, she's better at longer distances, to be honest. And so having a LMG like this where you're having to reach out and touch people further away, not the best option for her. Compare that to this one right here, which only has a rate of fire of 360 but is a heavy hitter and has much better range. Where you get the best of both worlds there. Oh, you see this one right here, 77 range, 450 rate of fire, but then you have the beast himself, the Heir Apparent, which from the moment that I drew this from the exotic engram that I had, this thing, I just had a good feeling about it. I said, you know what, this thing has a lot going for it, and I think it's perfect for Estela. I actually was using this on Caber first, so Caber having his barrier, and then having this, see this, Armor of the Colossus, makes it even more of a fortress build for Caber. But going on over to Estela, it's even more important for her to have that overshield, which it can get pretty insane if she's not being attacked. And of course those summons that she puts out prevent a lot of hostiles from attacking you, but you're still going to get hit. And Estela is a little bit more of a glass cannon, and that's perfectly fine, especially with this build, because this puts some protection around her, gives her an overshield. And let's look at some of these perks. So before we do that, look at the DPS. It's real-time DPS that I've done so in my testing. Can get over 40,000 DPS, which is really impressive. It's like between 30 and 40,000. The rate of fire is 900, just like this bad boy right here, Scorched Earth, right? 900, except look at the range difference. 70 range versus 31 range. That's a big difference. That's what exotics do, is they bring altered specs that you typically don't see for that archetype of weapon to the table. Look at the magazine cap, 210. That goes very well with some of her other parts of this build. You'll see in the artifacts that I'm going to talk about shortly. Heir Apparent might be the best exotic for Estela. And I kind of stand by that, mainly because of what this thing does when it's maxed out. When you look at this, you get arc shield durability, raising the arc resistance to 25%, and its void and solar resistance to 38%. Reloads 50% of the magazine if it is destroyed. So if you go from behind a wall and expose yourself and you're letting this thing fly, you're going to get reloaded 50% of the magazine if it is destroyed. It doesn't tell me whether or not that pulls from reserves. Usually it tells you if it does pull from reserves. So I'm just going off the assumption this actually reloads 50% of the magazine from out of nothing, which would make it even more valuable. And we have your Catalyst Tier 1 perks. We got more recoil control, reload speed increase, stability, which is definitely necessary because this thing does kick pretty crazy. Weapon hit damage bonus, that's where you start to really stack a lot of damage on this thing. Because when you get to this Tier 2 for the Catalyst band tree, you're seeing a 25% raw damage increase. It's incredible. Now you have range increase, magazine capacity, adding another 10 rounds to that already large 200 drum mag. And you got more recoil control, more weapon hit damage bonus. But it only gets better from there. And nobody in all of Destiny has this yet because we're not able to do this right here. Once Acclaim level 20 is unlocked, I think it's going to be next Monday, this thing is going to have the ability to be ranked up to where you have a 50% damage buff on top of these other ones that we were just mentioning. Okay, I believe that this is a build on from this. So this is 25%. This is another 25% that puts it at 50%. Then you have another 6%. Then you have another 8%. So 6 and 8. What's that? That's 14 on top of the 50. So you're looking at 64% damage buff, plus when you get to this tree right here, another 8%, that's 72% damage, another 8%, that's 80% damage, and then another 8% that puts it at 88% damage increase from the original form of this gun. I don't know if this gun was anything like this in Destiny 2, because I didn't play Destiny 2 that much past the first year or so. But this Heir Apparent is a motherfucking beast. I would tell you that straight out the gate. This thing is incredible. Even with its lower form, it's still pretty good. When you look this right here, and that's not even. This was just my extra one that I just got from an engram because I'm focusing on getting more of these. As you see, I'm already starting to prepare for next week if I can get one more. And then re-up on some of these infusion cores. That'll get me ready to boost it by another 1,000 power. And that's going to put this thing over 11,000 power. And on top of all the damage buffs, it's going to be a boss destroyer. Especially with the video that I have that got a little bit of steam on Reddit showing this weapon in action against the final boss of the raid. This thing's built to DPS. Okay, it's just a matter of timing. And you kind of have to work around her summons before and after you dump the mag. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Now, just so y'all can see where I'm at with her, got the Relic maxed out 18 all the way through. Okay, and then we're finally waiting on that Acclaim level 25 before we can completely max out her weapon mastery. Okay, talent tree. I did a video on my channel where I managed to pull all the talents for her with everything that I had. I did not go for Gwen. I saved it for Estela. So this just goes to show this is an Estela focused channel. She is going to be my main. Okay, with Caber as my secondary and Yolder as my third. Okay, so there's my arc burns, okay, and then everyone else kind of trickles in after that. But Estela is my main focus. My artifacts, starting with the one on the left, we have Resolute Nutation. Currently have it at 2400 power. I want to try to get it up to 2500 power, but it's going to require some more grinding, which I'll get to eventually once I have some energy to burn in the Singularity Chaos. What does this one bring to the table? Well, not so much about these attributes. These things are kind of random, so you may have some differences in what you pull, but this exotic right here, what does it do? Weapon and ability hits grant 2% damage resistance for 3 seconds, stacks 10 times. You're constantly dealing out damage, you're constantly having your summons deal out damage, so this damage resistance buff, which is going to be, what, at this current level is 2%, but once we're maxed out, we're looking at 2.5% damage with the 10 times boost. So we're talking about, oh, that's 20, yeah, it's over 20% of a damage resist. Now the reason why I like this particular one is because one, it's built for Estela. She has 2 rapid fire weapons. Okay, I believe I use the same perk on Caber as well. So it's really good for both of them. The other thing too is, let's see. I'm gonna go to the Bulwark pack. We'll just go to the next one. Forgot what I was going to say. Bulwark pack is their summon gaining 40% max health. This is not actually the one that I want, but I pulled it, so I'm using it. I'm actually looking for Healing Nutation, which is another rapid fire artifact. Okay, this one right here, this is the one, once I get the exotic, the one I'm pulling for, is going to give you more health recovery, making her more survivable. It's nice for her summons to be able to survive, because as long as they're in the field, that draws attention away from you. But first and foremost, we need to keep Estela alive, and because she's not a tank, she needs the ability to recover immediately while dealing out damage. And so Healing Nutation is probably going to be my preferred. Bulwark pack is a nice little workaround for now, should hold for now. It is pretty neat. Those summons, I don't ever really see them die in battle, so that's good for them. Inverted Fury and Bellicose Procession are the 2 exotic artifacts that I recommend for Estela. This is the one that Bellicose is the one that I was running for the first few runs through the raid boss before I was able to secure this artifact right here. But what this one does is it's a rapid fire artifact that increases your weapon by 30% rate of fire until the magazine is emptied or the weapon is reloaded, which gives my mythic pulse rifles a perk that is very similar to the Battle Pass exotic pulse rifle, where the rate of fire slowly increases. This one gives you an immediate 30% rate of fire increase, so it's a very good option. And what it does with the Heir Apparent is just absolutely ridiculous, because you empty the mag a lot quicker. Is it the one that I prefer? Honestly, no, but it is pretty interesting to experiment with some of that, and it does feel pretty cool to have the pulse rifle shoot faster than it normally does, no matter what version you have. And what it does also with the Battle Pass pulse rifles is absolutely ridiculous. But like I said, those magazines, they pretty much get dumped pretty quickly, so pulse rifles are, I look at them as my secondary. I think of the Heir Apparent as my primary for DPS on bosses, at least. Inverted Fury, this is going to be a good one. Once we get this one maxed out, it's going to be 30% weapon bonus damage while shielded, okay, which we should be able to get to eventually once we're able to level up these artifacts even further, because right now we're at the cap. We can't go past level 7 as of right now. You understand? Because a claim is capped at 18. So eventually we'll be able to max that out. That's going to be on top of what the Heir Apparent's 88% potential damage bonus increase. It'll be dealing more than double of what it's normally capable of dealing out. So for those of you that have the Heir Apparent, may have tried it out and maybe do or don't like the way that it performs, keep in mind that once you have it maxed out and you have artifacts like this, it's just going to be insane what it's capable of. And then on top of that, we have Rampaging Procession, which I have mine almost maxed all the way out because I re-rolled the hell out of this one with the artifact refactoring program. You can see my materials are a little bit low there. But we have it almost all the way at 2500, and this thing, what its final form is going to add another 40% damage. So we're talking about 88% damage from the Heir Apparent, 40% damage from this artifact here, and then another, once this is maxed out, 30% damage. So the Heir Apparent is going to be, what, like easily over 150% damage of its original damage output. So the DPS capability on the Heir Apparent is absolutely incredible. I hope to get more runs on the final raid bosses and just other bosses in general where I'm just mag dumping the hell out of the Heir Apparent, because I'm focusing my whole build around Estela and this gun right here, which is giving her a crazy overshield, helping her survive more, helping her put damage down range. It's such an amazing build to focus on, and for these first few weeks of Destiny Rising, this has been my approach. This is what I've done. You don't have to do things the way that I do. You should play the game however you feel is great for you, okay? But as of right now, that has my Estela at 64,401. Okay, so like companions, we also have a solar damage boost of 4.5% from good old Wolf, and a maximum health increase from Favala, because I've been getting quite a few of her in the pulls, and so I decided to go with that, which helps her out. On top of all the other damage bonuses, Stella receives another 12%. I have it maxed out. Remember, I have all 6 of her talents while standing still. And while you're DPSing on a boss, like the final boss in the raid, we are most likely standing still in one of the Tan 2 bonus pulls. So we're just doing all types of damage boosts for the Heir Apparent, for her weapons in general. She's like a mobile fortress. She's like a one-woman army that is able to send out distraction troops, post up with the dragon, heal herself with DPS. That's my intention for her build. And then, of course, the Heir Apparent being the main focus. She's going to be incredible. Absolutely incredible. She's looking stylish as she's doing it. I was actually thinking about getting some of her exotic ornaments. So if we go to some of the cosmetics,
I don't think that's such a good idea.
they're really pushing this right here, and it looks cool. I admit it looks cool, but I'm gonna just be honest with you. I like the way she looks with her hair down, but that's just my opinion. I like the way she looks with her hair down. Yeah, we simped for Estela, and it looks like it's paying off, because the game has been a lot of fun to play with her like this. So if you like seeing some of her gameplay and you want to see that Heir Apparent in maximum action, stay tuned to this channel. Like, subscribe, share, do what you gotta do. This is YouTube. But yeah, man, that's the direction I'm taking it, and I'm glad that I did. Okay, so hope you guys like that little quick clip of a breakdown of Estela, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take it easy now.